Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. We'll still get in here at about 10:10, so we won't have you waiting. About 3 minutes, even though the countdown says 10. So I'll see you very, very shortly for this St. Patrick's Day stream, baby. Let's go. 73,700 for Bitcoin as we get ready for Jerbow. Tomorrow is shadow cast upon us. Shout out to all you Irish folk out there. You're all Irish on St. Patty's Day. Shout out to each and every one of you. Thank you for jumping on in and seeing me here on St. Patrick's Day. It took me a second to get into character. I had to work on me on the way I was going to talk and everything, so I had to get it going. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. I was drinking all morning. But I'm here and I'm ready to go. A couple of shots of whiskey and I still made it. Yes, no, I don't drink, but this is for... Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. But we are going to break it down for you today for Bitcoin. Shout out to everyone here on St. Patty's Day, hanging out. Hey, man, if you're with me, you're Irish today. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Let's take a look at what's happening to Bitcoin. Let's do our top-down analysis. Let's see what we see cooking right here. Is there a trade right now? Is there something cooking on the small time frames to be had? I've been hungry this morning. It's been kind of sideways since this head and shoulder dumped last night. And isn't that crazy? All you need to know is how to trade a head and shoulder. Shoulder head, you get into the right there. You put your stop above the right shoulder and you ride the puppy down. It says it's going to break down 68% of the time. Technical analysis is beautiful. So you could have pattern traded that. You probably lost maybe a 200 moving average on the 1 minute. Let's see, did we lose it high? Yeah, see right here, you lose the 200 moving average on the 1 minute time frame, which I tell my students is a baddish thing here. You don't want to trade. You don't want to be trading bullish when you've lost a 200 moving average there, of course. What you thinking there, boy? You're going to be losing all your money. It's not financial advice, but for crying out loud, for Pete's sake, what are you doing there, laddies? What are you doing? You got to get your mind focused. You got to stay disciplined. I can't tell you 100 times. Chill out. If you could smack like the pigs, what's wrong with you, boy? So, let's break down Bitcoin. I want to do that all day, but I can't, right? It's funny. Shout out to all the beautiful people. Let me send this to the chat, too. I don't think I've sent this to the live stream. Into the Discord. We got to send that to the Discord. But shout out to everybody here on a beautiful St. Patrick's Day. Hope you're hanging out. Hope you're having a good time. I don't know if you celebrate. I don't know what you do. But please, I mean, they're already starting with the nonsense at the parades, people fighting and all that. Please calm down. You know, don't overreact. It's St. Patty's Day, you know. A lot of people will be drinking today. It is what it is. It's sad. My culture is all about the booze. I quit alcohol. I don't hate on anyone that drinks. It is what it is. But let's take a look at our first week back after a first time we're having 3 green. You could possibly have 3 green weeks. We could have 3 green. We say that. We could have 3 green weeks in a row. Right? Raise it up. Raise it up. Thank you, Lakochi. I see you there. Thank you. That's very awesome of you. You're the man, dude. So the first time in a long time we've had 3 green. We could have, right? We could have. Also, what I like is we started with the dip. We were able to maintain a wick. This looked like this at one point. Remember, it did have a pretty big wick, and we ended up eating that to the upside. One of the biggest weekly green candles we've seen. Look, we haven't had a candle this big on Bitcoin since about here. All right, this one kind of mirrors it somewhat similar, but since about here. Since about September 25th, right? That's the last time. So, or September 29th, sorry. September 29th of 2025. And let's get out of this weird, fruity music. It's funny, they always throw one in there. You're like, dude, let's keep the BPNs up there, you know. Oh, Valente. No, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Instrumental. Yeah, I want to make sure it's instrumental. So anyway, let's break it down. So the monthly could close its first green candle in 6 months, and it's at support. Could it be a reversal? It has been many times for Bitcoin. Okay, but we got them, you know, right there. It wasn't though. You know, just because you get a green next to a red, it would be good if we make this a bullish engulfer. But I'll take it. I will take this support right here. You can see the real support is right there, where these 2 candle bodies have met at 63,000. We did wick to 60K. It's been a few weeks now since we've held that bottom. I'll tell you what, we saw 5 on the fear and greed twice. I said to my students, I've never seen us hit 5, and I've never seen the 2-week chart or even the monthly. I mean, look how long, though, the monthly stayed in the bear market once it got to right where it is here. They hung us down there for a while. What if that's what happens and we end up going lower? So anything is possible, folks. I'm taking it one step one candle body at a time. You know, and that's why we do our top-down analysis here on the channel every single day. Oh, there it is. I said I thought it was the instrumental, too, and there it goes singing. Yada, yada, yada over here. I looked at the one right beneath it. So, you know, we're this nice falling wedge, too, here, right? You see? Falling wedges break up 68% of the time. You know, technically, this would be that leg. You could say that's the leg, but, the first leg is key. But that, boom. And if it was a sharp move, you could see all-time highs by May of 2027. Isn't that crazy, though? Like, it looks like so in that would be a year, like over a year from now. It's so crazy. But it would be awesome. We would pump for 13 months. You know what I mean? Like, basically, we'd start a new trend. I just love to see the trend really shift. We're getting signs of it. Why? The first symmetrical triangle broke to the upside. I haven't seen that in a long, long time. So, hey, Sammy over here. Hey, go. Hey, grab the cards over here. Hey, what do we got to go pick up today? Hey, Johnny. Hey, knock at the door, huh? Hey, apparently you owe us some money, huh? Hey, apparently you owe us some money, huh? We don't mean no harms. No, we just a bunch of butterflies over here. So the monthly looks nice, right? And it actually could present a great, it's the beginning. So I logged the monthly, if you remember, and I'm still in that long, and we'll see where it goes. All right? Yeah, for the first time, you know what I mean? You gotta go. I've always dreamed of logging the monthly and hitting the absolute perfect bottom. And also, to long the monthly is not that hard. Let's just say you were watching Bitcoin and you wanted to catch the bottom, right? So what you do is the second this candle started to close green, you front ran it, thinking that you called the monthly, right? It looks kind of like this candle here. This does look a lot like this candle here. We have the little, we never got the right shoulder though. But you have this candle next to this, they're hanging, okay? And then, so you long this, you would be in the money, then it would start to come, and then boom, you would have lost it. But again, remember, I'm not risking a lot because I'm getting in pretty close, so bang, I get hit off. Next time I see this one I may or may not go for, but fine, let's just say I do, right? Like it starts to pump right after, I long it right in there with the confirmation, and then they hit me off. And then when this one's like a little bit up, above that, I long it again with the front run. And what happens? I lose 2, I hit this one, I hit 1 out of 3 trades. 3 out of 10, right? I only need to hit 3 out of 10, which is even worse than 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3 is 3 out of 9 trades. You see what I'm saying? And look, then you ride that up. Maybe you probably sell in one of these here. Maybe, comes back down to support or resistance, and you buy the next green candle next to a red one. You buy that one when it closes. The second this monthly candle closes, you buy it. And then you ride this thing, you know what I mean? So, if for the rest of my life, I just buy when the monthly candles close and put a stop loss beneath the wick or some areas that I like, I think I'm going to do pretty good. So I've just gained a new skill and a new strategy that I believe will work for the rest of my life. Again, you only get one. You only be able to do this 1 out of every 2 to 3 years on most assets. But this is just like something I revealed to you now that's like so simple that I overlooked for years that I could have been doing over and over again. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very, it's so interesting. So interesting. Anyway, so let's move on into the 2-week chart. The 2-week chart is oversold in the stochastics RSI. I'm telling you, I've been using the stochastics on the 2-week. And this fear and greed, when it's below 10, 8, 9, and 10, specifically on this one, I don't use the one at CoinMarketCap. I just never used it, so it doesn't make sense to me. I've never put money behind it. I put money behind that indicator, and it's free. It's amazing that it's free, right? Look at the 2-week chart. It could any moment here begin to break this trend line. It could also get rejected. I get it. This could end up being a bear flag. I'm open-minded here that this isn't going to go perfectly. And we may end up getting a dump, and we could still see the 2-week 200 moving average. Somewhere around $39,000. This is still a possibility, which is set. But this is still a massive possibility here. See what I'm saying? We get back up somewhere here to 120, Just need a monocle, I know, right? Shout out to Grandmaster, friend of the house. God bless you, man. Thank you for being here and hanging out with the lifer. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Can we get this bigger move to the upside for Bitcoin is what we're looking for, right? Bang. So I like what I'm seeing there. This, you know what I mean? You can see it, and I can still see it being a bear flag. We got to make sure, like, this could close red, turn dumpy. We got to make sure we're maintaining. Very important. This falling wedge did break, oh, what? I really fat fingered that. Falling wedge in the weekly, to me, has broken out. Shout out to Omar, to the Irish lad. He says $50, man. God bless you, man. Thank you so much. You didn't have to give it. That will come back to you tenfold on St. Patty. He's giving on the good day of St. Patty's Day, man. Hey, God bless you there. Good. Hey, Omar there. God bless you there for the $50 super chat. Sláinte to you there, boy. You're Irish now. I don't care if your name is Lopez. Your man is will be O Lopez now. Omar O Lopez there. Come on out. Hang out, have a couple. There you go, boy. But thank you so much, Omar. Appreciate it. God bless you. Appreciate you for jumping on in there and throwing that in. Bitcoin Monaco will be next level, right? Hash rate. So look, I mean, you could say the weekly even did break out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight weeks of dumping. You dumped on us for 6 straight weeks. I don't think Bitcoin had ever dumped for 6 straight weeks. The only other time was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, like right here. And the bearish of bear, that was the majority of the bear market was like right here. Right? You can see. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bearish weeks. 1 tiny green week, 1, 2 more bearish weeks, and then some relief. Then some up and down chop. You know what I mean? And you can see, as long as you get a couple green in there, it's never too bad. So the majority of the bear market is really, is 8 weeks, it's 9 weeks, it's 6, you know what I mean? So you could say, hey, I mean, we took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's been brutal. It's been a real good bear market, man. We've taken, and there's been, honestly, I've been longing so much throughout all of this. Like, I've had longs like, I've been trading long a lot. It's so crazy. There's been opportunity. Like, our longs hit the last 2 days. The last 2 days, I made the bulk of the week's, more than the last few weeks. So I'm really excited, man. Sunday and Monday produced, my setups, they played out. As long as I didn't over risk at the end, things made me money and did well. So very exciting, man. It was a very productive week already, and it's Tuesday morning at 10:30, right? Let's take a look at Bookmap. What Bookmap is saying, 73.80. It's got liquidity on either side. People are building banks. I talked about it to my trading group. We're going to have the Fed meeting tomorrow, right? Today is Tuesday. Pending home sales. Let's see how the pending home sales came in at 10 a.m. 1.8, looking way better. So they were forecast to be low, but they actually ended up looking amazing. So people are buying, man. Market's looking okay. People got money and they're buying homes. Money's going to be less than it is, Take a loan out, use that money now before it gets worse. It's crazy, right? 75,000 Bitcoin or 260, but it's strong. Liquidity is strong, and you can see there's a lot of buildup up here above, all the way to 80K. All the way to 80K. A bigger glob up there, too, kind of says we're likely going to move up, but you never know. Well, right now, Bitcoin's getting a pump. Let's take a look. Bitcoin getting a move as we speak from 73,750 to about almost 73.9 it touched on Bookmap. Yeah, nice little pump there to the upside. Look at that flag on the 1 minute. Look at the shoulder. Look at the cup and the handle. The stuff that we teach over and over again. But you can see, look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. I'm still not in love. Bitcoin's been in. Look at this chop on the 1 minute today. My model was almost about to be there, but see how I wait? And then you could say, well, we could go out the short. I just said, yeah. My setups were all there. and they played out beautifully. So we got spoon-fed for the last, 48 hours. And I put in big, I finally got back. I was really happy because I got back to, my trades being over 100,000. One was 300,000. One was 330, and I did it a couple times. Hey, get out of here. So I got back to my old ways of trading with $100,000 positions comfortably. You know what I mean? And it just took me some time, man. Once I was on those painkillers, my mind wasn't perfect. I was trading 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. But I couldn't handle the liquidation levels. Everything I looked at it wasn't perfect. So, Yeah, don't second guess that Discord. Jump on in, man. Thank you so much. Yes, I was traveling on vacation and family and still able to take winning trades. I know, he was hitting me up saying, hey, man, I'm at the airport making money, bro. He's like, I love this. He's like, took a trade on the way. Amazing. Took a trade on the plane, figuring out how to get this Wi-Fi cooking. I mean, it's like, it makes everything fun. You can have a trade on the back, and especially when you know what you're doing. You're either going to, you know that you can either get stopped out or win, and you know your parameters. Yeah. Looks like we could have today's Tuesday. There's good volatility. Funny, I never just front run the 200 moving average, but it makes me want to do it today a little bit. I mean, 74,000 has been prime. Where would this take us? I would just look for the next resistance area. And I see we have some big, some resistance, obviously, and it would be 75,000. I mean, it makes sense, right? Now, the old me would just wait for this 200, the 21 to catch price action. Because whenever I chase this, I would buy right now. This would come get me a lot of times. But there were like 1 out of 6 times where it would just rip, and all I had to do was buy the crossover. I learned I can't control price. All I can do is what I control my strategy. $75,000, and we're going to get back to the top down. We didn't just stop doing the top down analysis. We'll get back to it immediately. I just, you know what I mean? There's days when I was doing the top down so much, and then I missed some really good trades. And I keep reminding myself of that a lot. Look at the stop loss at 73777s. Makes me want to take the trade just to see if the 777s will make it happen. On some numbers game. 100 for $700. I mean, it's a great risk-reward ratio. By the red of the candle, it turns into the wick. I got to wait for the 21 to touch. 21 touches, we get the Jamski. We got resistance there at 74,000 too when it starts. What am I waiting on? I'm waiting on this white line below me to cross the yellow line. Where am I trading? I'm trading live on Weeks right now. All right. WEEX, the We Exchange, right? You can hit the links right here or the pinned comment to jump on in. Okay. So now what I'm saying, I didn't jump in. What I want to see is this what's called consolidate. And it's just like when you put an orange juice in the freezer, right? When I was a kid, we had Minute Maid orange juice. We didn't have a lot of money. And we used that orange juice that you had to freeze, and then you would mix it. We did, man. We had frozen orange juice. Eventually, we started getting the better stuff, So crazy. So what I'm looking for here is consolidation. Price action to get, nice and tight. Could it just rip? It could. I've seen it. Can I miss out? It's happened. Look, it looks like it's going to go. Whenever I get across to this 200 moving average, look at there it goes, man. Once it gets that far, I have to wait now for consolidation. This takes extreme patience. The 1 minute will call your name so many times because price action moves a lot. And if you're emotionally stirred and you kind of have, and you're impulsive, you could lose a lot of money on the 1 minute. Yeah. And there it goes right across. And when we cross this yellow line, I don't know what happens, but the bots just eat it alive. They go crazy. I've seen it so many times. Right? Yeah. That thing, and what happens sometimes, if I miss that, then I switch to the 5, and I'm like, okay, well, similar thing can happen on the 5-minute time frame. I'm telling you, man, the 1 minute will really teach you what's happening in the markets, and you can do this on any single asset in the world. Like, we could flip over to the NASDAQ real quick, right? Well, there we are. We got to get back to that top down, but we just got, things are happening live right now. We got to pick up where we are. NASDAQ, it crossed the 200 moving average of the 1 hour. Gone. And when I told you not to stress, too, look at the NASDAQ in the inverted head and shoulder. You see it? That's an entry right there. Stop below here, and you're likely to win this trade 68% of the time. If you trust your patterns and you just take them like in the NASDAQ says it's going to bounce. Inverted head and shoulder on the 1 hour time frame. It's right there in front of you. It's even on the 4 hour. I mean, it's obvious. That's a bounce back to the upside. If you ask me, we crossed the 200. We're gone. What happened is it'll pull the 21 with it. Big pump of the NASDAQ. Look at it. I told you it was going to reverse. No one believed me. I kept saying, don't stress. Even on my macro analysis video of the morning, I kept saying, do not stress it. All right. Yeah. Okay, waiting for the 5 to show the model. Exactly. So, and this is another reason, I don't know about any other trading gurus or teachers and stuff. I don't really spend a lot of time paying attention to anything but God, my family, and my trading group. You know what I mean? In my trades, I'm really focused. I don't spend time, but I do know there probably are people that, just, the key is, if you watch us here on this channel and you watch, the Crypto Lifers show, we're going to show you actionable ideas that work and things that we're doing every single day. And we're not going to show you one thing and do something else. And we're going to show you how you yourself can figure out how price action works. And this is how everything works in all different types of price action. So look, beautiful move. Had I just aped in right there, it would have been a really nice move. I would have made my first trade of the day. Wouldn't have been able to sell. When we're that far for the 21, you take position, especially when a candle rips really big away from the 21. 90% of the time, it's a short squeeze. I think 100% of the time, it's a short squeeze. It's like always a short squeeze. And so what happens is we use liquidity. Bookmap's got this beautiful level there at 75,000. Look, back above 74K is beautiful. Look at this, man, steamrolling right now. And now what we want to do is we want to look at the bigger time frame. We're a little far from the 21. The 21 could catch up. If we're patient and we wait right, what we're going to get is we're going to get some type of flag here when the 21 reaches price. I have seen it pump out of control, and I have missed it being patient. But it's okay. It's the beginning of the day. Just because we missed the first, 1 minute move doesn't mean we can move to the 5. Like somebody said, we can move on into the 5 minute. We don't, you know what I mean? We could continue to move. So one step at a time, everybody. One move at a time. We'll get this. We could do this together. I like this. So what I want to see is red. I want to see the gap between the 21 and price to close. I want to see them to start to get closer. And because I didn't jump in yet either, I want to see it just kind of get away from me. So now, look, now I already have a trade. Measured move would be here. That's more realistic. It's still a 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And it's even better if I get lower. Ooh, wow, what a crazy wick right there. And a wick like that will make you want to jump in. It will make you want to open You'll say it's going to go there without me. It's going to explode, and maybe it does. But you got to just stay patient and trade the setup that gives you the best probability. Honestly, it looks like it's making almost like a tiny flag that could boom. I got, it's... But I've done this so many times. Tuesday is my favorite day to trade. I love Tuesday. I can't believe it's Tuesday and we've made money from Sunday to Tuesday. And this is what's now called a continuation pattern. Trend is also identified by the 200 moving average. This is what I learned. See, for years I was using the 200 and I understood trend, but not perfectly. Then I used the 200, realized I was trading trend. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm trading trend the whole time. You see what I'm saying? Like when you do the right thing overlaps all the others. So like two traders that both have a discipline, like quote unquote disciplined way of trading that makes sense. They follow rules and one guy's a fib guy, one guy's a support and resistance. Let's say 3 traders. One guy's strictly support and resistance. One guy's like me, he does pattern. I mean, I do it all, I guess, kind of crazy. But one guy does, let's say, moving averages and patterns. Look at that thing. That thing is taking off. It's telling me I should ape in right there and let it cook. Like, I'm going to miss out on a pump right there. So hard not to chase that pump right now. I used everything in my heart to just say, chill, chill. But it's just like, when you've seen this before, the cross of the 200 is very bullish. You see? Very bullish sign. Very bullish sign. Look at this thing jump a little bit. Right? Been to wait and miss then FOMO. Yeah, but like, see, there it goes, man. Wow, look at that. And the lessons of trading right here with Sam Price. I'm not able to be patient. I'm able to create discipline in trading and lose everything when alone trading, but profitable when trading with you. We'll just take a deep breath, man. And try to, when I'm not around, act like, what would Sammy say? What would Sammy do here? If he was live, what would Sammy do, This thing is mooning, though, man. I had a feeling I was going to... I can't explain it, whether I'm psych. I don't know what it is, or intuitive. My intuition told me that time I could ape in without the 21. I don't know why. It just told me this was the time too, and I was like, But I stayed disciplined. I hesitated. The 3-minute might present some good probability here. Let's take a look at the 3-minuto. I got the 3-minute here on Pionex. Why the 3-minute? Well, sometimes, you're a little antsy and you miss the 1-minute move and you don't want to wait for the 5-minute. You just don't. You kind of want to and so technically we could make the same call now again on the 3-minute, like get in without the 21 crossing. It's crazy. This time you learn your lesson and get spanked, or do we learn our lesson for the first time from not doing it with the 1-minute? Like, you know what I mean? And it's interesting. And see, this is the dynamic of this show. Some days you're going to know, you're going to go over the show, and some days it's just going to start immediately with, live price action right off the bat. And that's why it's good, too, to have options for different trading accounts. This is Pionex. We do have a link to Pionex in the comment section if you want to jump on in. Very good liquidity, really good user experience. One of the best boards. I love this user experience here. And user interface. The UI is top notch. Sounds when you get in and out of trades that sound cool. And just, let you know. You don't even have to be in the room to know, I got stopped out. Like, you'll hear it. You'll be like, oh, well. Or if you take profit, bling, Same thing, you're always setting up a trade before you're in the trade. See, no trade is a trade without some type of thought process. Are people just jumping on in with their, people do crazy stuff. People do things I wouldn't believe you would, But I used to do things when I started because I didn't have a set. I didn't have a system. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anybody that I trusted online to listen to. That was insane. Nobody online was worth listening. I thought everyone online was a liar. I was like, why would I? Online? Really? You know what I'm saying? And because I didn't trust myself and I didn't show up for myself a lot, I didn't think anyone would show up for me. But, I started the gym loan, I started working out, and then one day I saw some guy online that said, hey, join my Discord or join my Telegram group he had at the time, my Patreon, whatever, right? Which I don't use that company. I think it's, they take a lot of money for no reason. When you can set up your own paywall, like, there's no reason to use them. But whatever. I'm not, I'm just going to, not so nice to say, Sammy. Don't say it at all, especially on St. Patty's Day. But I personally don't use that. I have cryptolifer.com and set up my own stuff. You know what I mean? So look, we're looking for this to kind of start to get busy now. And I'm switching back to the 1 minute too. 1 minute is now starting to show me some love. Now, is this going to happen for sure? There's no guarantees at all. Could this continue to pump? Very well may. Could I miss out on a massive pump? I might, right? Oh, man, as I say it happens. And now, look, Bitcoin's already gone from 73.8 to 74.250. Like, I've missed a move that someone else might have gotten into with a different, you know what I mean? I can see it happening. So the 21 isn't catching up today. It's lagging for whatever reason. Even the 5, look at the 5, massive move to the upside. Shorts getting squeezed. 74,300, you're seeing shaky, this is great volatility right on the morning. I'm still in a long of the monthly, so I'm not out completely. Which is great, right? Not up huge, but up good enough. I feel like I did miss a bit of that move, though. It's all right. No FOMO. Be grateful that you're where you're at right now. And recompose and see where you can get, Sammy. You can't, the past is the past. We stay in the present. The present is right now that I'm not in a trade and I'm looking for opportunity. I need to connect to that idea and stick with it. See, the 3 minute even said jump in without the 21. But, I've learned my lesson chasing and I just can't do it. This thing could rip all the way to 75,000 and I have to just say I can't chase that. Let's finish my top-down analysis for a split second. Shout out to anyone that jumped in a little more aggressively than I did there. 3-day chart, nice move to the upside. Got back above this key area too, which is what, 72,630 for BTC. What's up? These songs are like putting me to sleep here. What's going on? There's my old song, yeah. It's the beginning, baby. So, previous resistance must be support now on the 3-day chart. We're just really not completely out the water just yet. This could end up being a rising wedge bear flag. We could get rejected here. We could break this trend line. We could start to dump. We could at least dump back down for a double bottom possibly at 64.5. We could even come all the way down to 49,000. So we're not out the water yet. We got to really, in my humble opinion, we can't do a tweezer bottom here. We really got to move through the gap all the way to the point of control. We got to get back to 87,000. In my humble opinion, Bitcoin has to kind of continue this rally. If anywhere here we fail, I feel like it could be a bull trap, or it could end up becoming a bear flag here. If that tweezer top ends up closing in 2 days and 10 hours on the 3-day chart, then yes, we have ourselves a bit of a resistance there. So I'm not full-blown bull yet. I have gotten into longs that I believe could become epic longs. You see, because that's what you have to do. You have to get into the long if it looks like it could be the long. Like I showed you on the monthly, like you just get in on those calls, and you know what I mean? When you, like I showed you the three times the monthly showed the green next to the red, and how if you just took each one. So I want to remind you what I'm talking about. Like, what is he saying? What the heck is Sammy saying? So you get what I mean? So you go at, so I opened, so what I mean by my statement is I've long what I believe is the bottom. I'm still open-minded that this could be a bear flag though. You get it? So that's all I'm trying to say. I don't want to confuse anyone to like my overall, bullish sentiment. Oh, I'm going to go on a limb here and I'm going to say something that I've been saying, and I think I've said it 5 times now. But I believe there's a 90% chance, which to me is like, basically holding me pretty much to an idea, but there's a 90% chance that we have bottomed. I have never seen us not bottom when this has hit 5. It's that simple, and I know and the 2-week chart has been low in the stochastics RSI. Does that mean we could come down to 64 and double bottom? We could spend a bunch of other stuff could happen. And, and maybe we don't. Maybe this time we go back down to 5 again and we do go to 49K. I can't tell you what's going to happen for sure. But I will tell you that whenever I've seen us with massive dumping the way we did, especially with October dump, that was crazy. Then in this November liquidation and this liquidation here, with all this, that has happened, and the fear and greed index being where it is in the monthly and the weekly with 6 weeks, it's very likely a bottom for me. But I could be wrong. I bought like it was because the odds are very high that it was. So I bought like it was. You see what I'm saying? I felt like I didn't have a choice. So is this a trend line that we have to kind of think about? I mean, possibly. I don't love to go with wicks. I use candle bodies, but I could say, hey, it is. When the thing is, when you use the candle bodies, you could say it's bullishly retesting here and just ready for another bigger move. And just getting ready for a pump. You see? Yeah. I believe volume would be higher if this was really the bottom. Massively rejected by the 5-minute. Yes, I don't know, man. I just go by years of data. I don't know. You say you believe. Like, whenever I say I think or believe, I'm usually like I'm using some type of more of my emotions, right? Like something because it's what I think I believe is it's usually attached to my wallet, attached to my idea. Right? And you can even make this smaller and say it's still a rising wedge. It did break out It is a symmetrical triangle that broke out. We are above previous resistance. That's now support. There's some good stuff cooking right now for Bitcoin. The 21 is a bit lagging behind price action. We do have to come see it. And there's, we are at the tip of kind of one of these, of the, the channel that we're in of this falling wedge. So what I like about this is when these moving averages get tight, you pump up to the 200. I can see the 200 come down slowly as price makes its way, and they could meet somewhere right there too at that beautiful high volume node. And we could come right back into 87, 88K. So I like what I'm seeing here for this area. And the fact that we got back above this glob, this indicator here is what's called the VRVP, folks. Every time I set it up, there's always someone that doesn't use, it's like, oh, visible range volume, hit it. When you hit yours, though, it's going to look a lot different than mine. Not a lot. It might be pink and blue, and your input is going to be at 24, so it's going to look chunky. It's going to look like this. It still works. You can see the gap and stuff, but it's not as detailed. I just like to slap a 0 next to that 4. What that's going to do is it's going to open it up, right? It's going to add out 240 lines instead of 24 lines, right? It's just going to give you a little more precise reading. It's like a radio that has, more dials in between the stations, right? You know what I mean? It just gives you an extra sense of sensitivity on the indicator. 22 to the 20 hour right here. So look, I mean, look what's happening here to the 12-hour time frame. So when I look at everything and I break it down into the smaller time frames like this, I see a beautiful flag that broke out. And I see us, getting ready for the next push to the upside, but it's bigger time frames. We have to consolidate, right? So in my mind, we just gotta make flags. We gotta bring up the 21. Right? Which really, that's gonna close the gap. That's gonna send you to 85K. And then what happens is we gotta stay up. So here's this is my line in the sand right now. Support or resistance at 72.8, 72.5's gotta hold. This area's gotta hold. You can't lose this area, right here, these two topping tails. It's actually a little higher, right? It's like 73K. You really got to stay above 73,000, and you got to catch the 21 on the 12-hour. 8-hour time frame looks decent too, the way it rejects. And again, we were going for the 200 moving average on the 8-hour. That's close enough for me to start taking profits. I was telling everyone that's a good place. And then the 4 hours tweezer bottoming as we were talking about, right? And we said, like, watch out. It could still might make a shoulder, a head, or right shoulder and dump. Or does it consolidate? And so this is kind of where we stand. Nice pump for Bitcoin on the 1 hour. And remember, this is kind of what I was looking at today. I said, man, I'm looking for the 1 hour. If you saw my update this morning, right? I drew something similar. It is an hour later, but you're not even, it's like 40, 50 minutes later, but it's about the same idea. I said, listen, but you can see shoulder, head, this could make a head and shoulder and dump. We need this to kind of come up, get rejected, and start consolidation. Big, beautiful move for Bitcoin. 74,250 for BTC. Nice pump on the 1 hour time frame. And again, how would you have taken advantage? Well, I bet you if you looked at the 15, there was a red candle next to a green. I'm telling you how simple this has been. And so like right there, like once this closed, you could have front run it with a stop below these wicks. It also bounced off where? The 200 moving average. And we talk about this on my show almost every single day in some way, shape, or form. You're going to hear me mention the 200 moving average. You're going to hear me mention the 21-day moving average. I don't think there's ever going to be a show where I don't mention those two things. Okay? And you can see again, like price action right there, right there, you get in there, we got the big move. Yesterday, I ended up drawing this flag. We took this flag to the upside. We traded this puppy. I was selling 75.6, So, set your setup so I can get your money. Oh, man. Yeah. Hope you don't have blades in the peaky binder cap. Always, bro. Always. I got more than that. We got the Essen lesson. Funny. The Essen lesson. So, Bitcoin on the 15. Looking nice. Is there more? This could make a flag now, too. I'm telling you, I know you don't want to hear this. I know it sounds boring. It's all about the 21. Once you let the 21 rule you, seriously, no man will rule me, but, control the way you trade with it, you're going to become a G. So let's move. So today I see us just kind of slowly making our way back to the top of the channel. Otherwise, so here's the deal. If we get a resistance, if we can't get back above 74.5 here and we make right shoulders, this could be a head and shoulder like I showed you and we'll dump. If we flag out and start to pump and we get to the top of the channel or we make some type of move up here, we're in some type of bigger consolidation. And so that's what I'm looking for, bigger consolidation for Bitcoin. And it might be smaller. I don't know how, but I'm looking for it to make a flag. This would be the more preferable situation. It would make me more money. It would give me less risk. But beautiful buy here on the 1 hour, and I like the bounce. And again, what saved the day? The 15-minute 200 moving average. So what now? What do? We missed kind of a little bit of a morning pump there. Well, yes and no. It didn't fit right. We were kind of in some swag. It was choppy price action. That's not my fancy. Wasn't my exact favorite. What I could do here now is look for a possibility of this and see if my scalp is ready. So let's get back. 5-minute pumped up to the 200. Expected. So it's so interesting, right? You bounce off the 15 200. You pump up to the 5-day 200 moving average. The 5-minute, It's so awesome. So now you kind of look here and you say, okay, price action did well. Had a nice move here on the 1 minute. It's now on the 21, above the 200. If you give me 10 more minutes of consolidation, show me that you could play ball. And see, the sad thing is we got to go a little, it's like, I have to make it almost too big of a trade. Like, I got to get it to 75.9, which is, it's doable. But today, I don't know. I just want it, I'd like it to be a smaller trade. Let's see here. What I do is I overshoot the profit margin, but know that I'm not going to take that. So try to find the trade inside the trade. It's an interesting thing that I've started doing the last 2-3 years. Because there's a trade in there. Sometimes it doesn't match, but there is a trade in there. You know, something tells me I could buy right now. You got a previous resistance as support. You got some cool, you know, 2 of them really. 3 of them. 1, you know, 1, 2. You got 3. A little one right there. So the stop loss is pretty, to me, is covered. Yeah, 340 for 1,000. We got to go up 1,700 to make $1,000. Not bad. Little, you know, you get greedy, you know, you get like a little more bold after winning like I did yesterday. So you're like, oh, I'm just going to risk it all. All in is 2 for 6, which isn't even that great, right? I mean, this is starting to look like it's going to launch to me. I'm going to get in right now before I miss out on the move. Oh my gosh. Now I just chased the breakout. I've been like a second behind the move lately. Somehow I still caught it. I don't even know how I caught a piece of it up $30 there. I don't understand. There's always seems to be this pump. The 21 to 200. It's like some algorithmic bomb. I've collapsed it into space and time. I'm tracking this thing. I get so scared that too many people will know what it is and like it'll eventually find out and it's gonna leave. But it's every time I think that, I wake up and it will last another year and it keeps doing it. And so look at that move there for 74.5. Yeah. You're streaming, so there's always a line. Yeah, but no. I mean, there we go. How to make $100 in 1 minute. The book by Sam Price. I made $100. I opened up a trade and I made $100. The second I did the trade, I can't believe it. It opened up and I started the pump. You can't do the Italian accent on St. Paddy's Day. What are you doing? I know. There you go. Opened up the trade. Next thing you know, we're nicely up there all the way to the upside. There you go, boy. That's how you get the grain candles. It's all about the grain, boy. The emerald isle. I mean, that's just so beautiful, the way it just moved like that. It's crazy, right? The volatility is wild. But again, there's the strategy. The 21 above the 200. It played out yesterday on the 4 hour. It played out on the 1 hour. It played out on the 1 minute time frame, the 5 minute time frame. I gave my students and everybody the ideas there, and it just continued to do damage. Like, look at this. This thing prints money. Move the stop loss into position. Look for the scalp. And this was just my first day scalp. I wasn't going for much. I've only used it. Oh, I am using $6,000. I didn't realize I was using that much. That's really unsustainable, though. I mean, a move like that on the 1 minute, it doesn't seem right. See how long we can wrestle this puppy with. But come on, no, go, no. So you're telling me there's a chance. So you're telling me that you want to play ball a little bit. You want to eat that wick alive. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Show me what you got. I'll put my stop loss on. Yeah, baby. Yeah, Billy. Willy-nilly. Look at that thing. Straight up. We call this the Sammy Price Special, man. And, of course, on St. Paddy's Day, luck of the Irish. Shout out to anyone that took the trade with Sammy. That's unsustainable. I'm out. It's unsustainable, man. Like, straight up. Straight up. Like, when it goes straight up, I mean, and you make $200 in 2 minutes, right? You could do the eyes. Yeah, that's fine. You have the gav all the beat. You're funny. I'm short here. Let's go. Rounded bottom, pay the bills, baby. Look at that move, man. What a move to the upside there for Bitcoin. And again, all I did was trade the 21. I waited for a price to consolidate. I waited for the 21 to get inside of a pattern when we were above the 200. And I got in. Like, I can't tell you, man, this has paid me. I've done it on the live stream now so many times. Yes, I could have used bigger money. Risk was iffy. Tomorrow we got Fed day. Not my favorite day to trade pre-Fed day. I do like Tuesday, though. I do like Tuesday. And how did I know to sell the top? Because I'm not greedy. And I know when you're too far for the 21. Now I can switch to the 3-minute. Look, the 3-minute would have played out too had I got in there. Bang. So now, look, I can switch to the 3-minute time frame and I can start to set up the same trade. This is what I can do. I can live between the 3-minute and the 5-minute. If it's a bullish day and the daily is reversing up, everyone's watching the daily. So what I can do is, now what I do amazing stuff. Check this out. I flip out to, now once this is happening, it's telling me that we're probably bigger time frames looking good. So once I do this, I zoom out and I look at the daily with nothing on it. Now, sometimes this is happening and the daily is starting to flip green, like right here. And then what happens, so I open up the daily trade, I put the stop loss there, boom, boom, I walk away. I forget about the daily then. You see? Like it might be the 8 hour, like the 8 hour. You front run this right now. You see what I mean? You front run the fact that the 8 hour, like this, you get in here with a stop below, maybe that wick there, right? And then you go about your business. Forget you even did it. Let the 8 hour do its thing, you know? And then I get back in, and then what I do, and then for the rest of the day, I'm sitting, on 2 or 3 exchanges, and I'm trading, the 3-minute, the 1-minute, and I'm waiting for these setups. And everything is either candle bodies, tweezer candle bodies, moving averages, support or resistance. Like there's a reason for every single entry that I'm making. And if I haven't seen it before, I'm not trading it. Like if I haven't seen it thousands of times before, I'm not trading it. I've seen this, what I just showed you a second ago, where I made $200 in under $200 in 5 minutes, right? And again, I could have put, there was a voice in me that says, oh, that's only a little bit of money. You're supposed to be this big time trader and you pulled out 189 or 190, I said, and my mind said, but Sam, you did it in 2 minutes. And I said, and you predicted price action like down to the minute, exactly as it happened. You know what I mean? I said, you should be grateful that you've learned this skill. You should be grateful that it played out the way you did. And you should be grateful that you were able to sell when you did. Because look, a lot of people were hoping that it was going to continue, weren't they? And now they're down more. They didn't take anything that I took out. I took the trade the way it was supposed to be taken. We went to 74.8, 60. This thing all started when we crossed the 200 right there. It's 73.8. And you could go back to the 30-second chart, which I've been teaching you guys now. It started when we crossed the 30-second 200 moving average. Right there. You could have gone to the 5-second if you want to play it real bold. And it really, you know what I mean? It kind of, all 738 though, really was the target. 1 second chart made right there. 21 in the flag above the 200. Boom. What you could, the weekly is the 1 second. The 1 second is the weekly. Time is me and you. We look at time and space and crunch it because of, hey, let's just say you've been to 10 baseball games and they were all 11 innings long. I know it's unrealistic, right? You'd go to a 9 inning and you'd say it was a short game, right? You see what I'm saying? That just changed your mind, right? I know it's unrealistic, but it could happen. Let's just say in your lifetime you went to 3 baseball games. All 3 of them went into extra innings. Then one day you went to the 4th baseball game and it ended at 9 innings. You say, wow, that was a short game. You see what I'm saying? We're back, baby. Shout out to Zab Life. We're back, baby. Zab is back, man. My doctor saved my life. I gained itis. I had gainitis, he said. I know you did. And I really want to say sorry to everybody. I really got to apologize. I got to make another big statement here on the channel. No, just with a heavy heart, it hurts me. I don't want to see people, So again, I had to talk to my team. We had to come out again and say we have to make a. Just want to say sorry for something that I've been doing. Okay. Lately, everyone around me, everyone I know, everyone on the channel. has been getting gainitis, man. They're just sick. They're sick, man, with gainitis. They just can't stop winning. They call me, they say, Sam, I'm winning so much, my heart is racing, I can't sleep. It's affecting their life. They're forgetting to walk their dogs because they're trading so much. The dogs ended up, one guy's dog went to the bathroom in the house. He said, I've been trading so much, Sam. I've been winning so much, I couldn't take my dog out. And I said, I'm sorry. And it's been affecting people's lives. They got gainitis bad. And they're looking, their friends and family haven't seen them in days. They're wondering if they're okay. And I tell people, there's some cases of mild gainitis that can be taken care at home. But if it gets really bad, you may have to seek medical attention. This is just a complete joke, friends. But seriously, gainitis has been spreading. Anyone near me that has touched me, come near me. It's very contagious. And I just want to say, if 20-year-old kids that have traded for a year making gains. 50-year-old guys that ride trucks are calling me saying they're on the side of the road making money. Teachers that teach say they come home from school after grading papers and they're watching the gains. I'm getting testimonials from people that own daycare centers, people that do all walks of life. They're saying, Sam, I've got gainitis. I can't stop winning. Retired dads, people with their Roth IRAs, people getting it in, everyone from all walks of life, men and women, are telling me they got gainitis. And I just want to say sorry. I apologize. I wish I could find a cure, but it's probably going to get worse. I didn't time it right. If I timed that right, it would have been perfect. Let's do it. But it's probably likely going to get worse. Anyway. So Bitcoin pulling back nicely. See how I didn't jump in at the wrong time and risk it for the biscuit. See how I got out. Look at that. Look how Sammy got in and got out. That is called expert sniping. And look, I was in the trade for 1, 2. I think I get in a little late right there. So I was in about 2.5 minutes, I'd say, right? I'd say about maybe, you could say 3 minutes at the most. But I think that would be pushing it. So let's just say in 3 minutes. Now, I made, whatever, $200 in 3 minutes. Okay? And the P&L's been strong because I'm just, taking what's in front of me. What's crazy is I made $225. That was how much that trade just took in. $225. All right, and you can see my last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades. 2 losses. That's beautiful. We can go over the whole shebang, right? Let's take this chunk because it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses, right? And the losses are like, that's 150, that's 300, that's like 500, that's 50, that's 200, right? It's like $600-700, and then the wins, like that one takes care of all the losses, and everything else is a win. That's 1,600, 1,200, right? And it adds up, man, when you just keep taking it. 16, there's another 1,500, there's another 400. So it adds up if you keep taking it. You don't have to be perfect, but you just got to keep, and then the key is to not overtrade, man. Overtrading is how people lose money. Look, I waited for the perfect entry. I got out when I felt like we were too far from the 21. Look what happened there. Looks like Hikanashi this morning, right? Doesn't it? Let's get back to our top 10 analysis. So we're looking at the 8-hour. Let's clean this up. I liked it when it looked a little cleaner here. Hold on. We got a lot going on the smaller time frame for a second. So look, this is a scalping channel where we scalp live in front of you. I use a scalping strategy that I believe is the least riskiest strategy. I believe the way I teach how to trade is the least risky. There might be better ways. There's definitely ways to teach entries. But some people are teaching entries that they've perfected to the point of that are so difficult for other people to replicate because they're just like, it's like that person is so amazingly precise, but it's not as easy for other people to do. Again, it happens to me too. I'm sure, like I think people can do what I can do, and then they're like, dude, it's Sam. What you just did, a lot of people lost money on that trade that just happened right now. Let's be honest. A lot of people, maybe I'm not just around the world, not even watching this channel. I'm just saying around people tried to trade that Bitcoin move right now, and they did something silly. They chased it. They didn't move a stop loss into position or whatever they did. And the 1 minute it probably got their heart racing. To me, it was very calm, easy trade. I've been doing that I've done that 1,000 days straight, right? So like more than that even, not a big deal. Whatever, I'm not trying to brag. You've seen it. It just, and again, that's another thing to teach you. Why is the trade so simple to me? Because I do it all the time. When you're consistent, you can rely on your subconscious mind to backfill your behavior. You don't have to think of everything you're doing all the time. You just do it. It's just something that you're doing. You know you're going to do it. Like you don't have to really. You don't have to gotta go crazy with it. You know that you're going to do it. You see. And that's a testament to anyone that pushes themselves and keeps going every single day. You're gonna find. You're going to find a level of success that makes you content with. You're going to be like, man, you know what? Like today, if I don't make any other money today, it's great. I didn't lose anything. All I have to do is not lose. I made a boatload of money the last 2 days. I'm greedy if I think I need more. All right. I think it was about $8,700 in 2 days. I like it. Sure, I think I probably breached 10 grand at one point. In the last few weeks, it's just been. I'm looking for something like this. We got this indecision doji. I'm looking for the 4 hour to kind of hang out, come kick it. Could make a right shoulder, could start to dump, but it's looking bullish to me. I'm starting to see a parabolic move here for BTC. Let me kind of clarify how I see this. But yeah, I'm starting to see that parabola up to this $80,000 level. Let's turn this 7 to an 8. Rounded bottoms pay the bills, multiple higher highs. And again, you can't say we didn't. What do you mean? Well, this is the 4 hours a big time frame, and so is the daily. And so if you're talking trend, I mean, yesterday was a big deal. You had a low. You had a higher high here, right? You boomed up. You had a low, you had a high. You had a higher low, and a higher low is defined by the next tweezer bottom in the set. It's clearly defined. Like, so here you had a crazy low, higher low, but lower high. Higher low, lower high. I mean, you're still in the downtrend right here. You see what I'm saying? You fumbled the bag. However, you did make a higher low right there compared to this low here. So you have your low, you have your higher low. You come up for the higher high. It's even, not amazing. You make your higher low right there. This technically could have been the actual bottom buy right now. That's the confirmed bottom buy. It's always a right shoulder for Bitcoin. I've seen it in the history of Bitcoin. It makes the right shoulder. It does it every time. I'll show it to you. I can prove it. Then it will come up and make a higher high. Then it will make usually a higher low than this one. They double bottom though. It got very, but it did double bottom. That technically, because this has a level here, is a W. That W technically has a move up to $81,000. You see what I'm saying? And that technically has a 68% chance because that's just how shapes work. I know people don't like to hear it. I know not everyone knows patterns are amazing, but they are. The more you shun patterns, the more you'll miss. I used to use 1,000 different ideas and then I'd miss a simple pattern. All I had to do was trust the simplicity of the patterns and I would have made so much money. Like one day there was a rising wedge and it was obvious, but I was like, oh, but it looks perfect and my Stokes looked like they're, and I just go long and like rising wedges break down, bro. And like the thing dumped exactly where it was. And I looked at myself like, why didn't I just do what I was supposed to do? Why did I have to be, the man of the hour here, right? 74,200 Bitcoin kind of stabilizing here. And the 4 hour candle pretty, indecision doji. So same thing here. We're looking at this. And remember what we talked about on the 1 hour. This could end up being shoulder, head, right shoulders. You got to look out for this move. Back to the 200, back through the gap, back down here to liquidity. That level is going to take you to 71.5, probably where you'd like to think to take some profits. We're going to recap all this on a bigger time frame. So right now, if you're trading intraday and you want to make some gains, You really want to see this. You want, we're going to zoom in for a second. You don't want to see, I guess you'd want to see a right shoulder and you'd short it. You'd short back down to 71.5. So a possibility of a short to 71.5 right now for Bitcoin, as it seems to be struggling at this key resistance level here, where we wicked right there, where we've kind of right shouldered somewhat into 74.5. 15-minute looks somewhat promising as it may, so your 15-minute is the answer. You got to get a flag here and then the flag. So here's a possible next scalp. We could trade the 15-minute and it could pump to 75.3. $1,000 move for Bitcoin. We are trading tiny moves inside of a tight channel. You did bounce off the 200 moving average. The 21 is curving. That looks promising to me. And then here you are kind of gauging what's going to happen with the 5-minute too. So to me, the 1 minute through the 5 is, I'd have all three of those. I'd have the 1 minute up, the 5-minute up, and the 15. You can see how that almost right shouldered there, but saved it, shoulder head, right shoulder. Yeah, and so we're looking for a bounce back up. We're looking for consolidation. 15-minute really has to, I want to see the 15-minute do its thing. So far, the 1 minute is saying, yeah, we can get the bounce. Interesting how you have that almost, they have that kind of the same idea, right? The 1 hour has the right shoulders in the head. The 1 minute. It's almost the eerie foreshadowing, is it not? Shout out to the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Dang, you're 1,400 people here. Thank you for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. Please hit that like button on this beautiful St. Patrick's Day. And, sometimes I miss the fact that I'm not going to get drunk today. But that means nothing, man. And just so everyone knows, I will not have a sip of alcohol today, I'm not going to go to some Irish bar and hang out. And a part of me used to miss all that stuff. But I said, Sam, man, I'm in a new age, the age of Aquarius. I'm building a life that's not connected to this old life. I love my heritage. I am Irish. I'm not, I'm Irish. I went through my entire tree, and I know basically my bloodline and what I'm connected to, where I'm from. And I'm like 90% Irish. I have English in me. I guess I'm like, of all my grandparents, or my great-grandparents. So what is it like? Nobody cared, right? But my mom's side, my dad's side. On my dad's side, he has O'Rourke was his mom. Price is his dad, right? And that goes to Price and Moses. And that goes to a Moses and another Moses. And that goes to Lancashire, England. So my great-grandfather was English. Price is an English last name, you see? So great-grandfather English has a son. He's English. Bang, down to my great-grandfather, who marries Bridget. I believe, Bridget, I want to say O'Halloran or something like that, but very Irish name. Quinn, that's what it was, Quinn. Right? They have my grandfather, okay? So he's Irish and English. He's 50%, right? And then my dad's mom is all Irish, She O'Rourke, and then her mother was Crowley, right? So I know my dad's side, all Irish. It goes as far back into the 1600s. My dad's mother is all Irish. Can't go, you know what I mean? And so bang. And so that makes right there, my dad is 3/4 Irish, 1/4 English, right? Because his dad's 50, his mom's 100. If you took all four, he has 3, whatever. So then my dad has me, and he's 3/4 English, Irish. And then my mom, her dad is all Irish on his side, but her mother is Irish and French. And then this person is French and German, and then this goes back to Germany. So there's 1/16 German blood, which actually even leads to Jewish blood, I found. A Heitman, Heitman. So the Heitman family married a Goethel. I can remember all this too. It's crazy. And then on my mother's side, it's just her dad is all Irish. He's Deegan, DGA. Anyway, no one should know my whole life, right? Anyway. But so there you go. I could figure out, I knew, and I did that all on Ancestry.com, which is crazy. You can figure that out. You'll have to sit there. It'll take a long time, and you'll have to really sit there. Like, it'll take you a long time. But you'll be able to piece together kind of where you came from, if the records are there. And mine, they are, because, England, Ireland, and America, and there's enough I can go back to, so. But I can't go far. I didn't go I went as far as I could in certain sections, So I'm mainly Irish, but I've got a little bit of German, a little bit of French, and a little bit of Jewish blood, like way, 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 way long ago. You know what I mean? Which is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? I would never have known that. Right? So, we're looking to see if this could hold. Let's see if the 1 minute is 1 minute's above the 200 moving average. But once the 1 minute loses the 200, that becomes more bearish. You kind of want to, it's like, when you're trying to find the bottom of the day and you see, can we get back above the 200? So if like later on today, and again, you could trade the same trade. If later on today we get above the 200, the 21 crosses, and that's a bear flag, we could trade the bear flag the same way we traded. We traded the bull flag. And again, we got a lot coming our way. Tomorrow's going to be Fed day. And everybody knows that, right? And you can see 99.1% chance they're not cutting the rates tomorrow. It's just not happening. Okay? They're not going to do it. So it is what it is. We're going to hear what he has to say. And this is his last, I believe this is the last time. I know we have to hear him one more time in April. But he's going to be sour. It's going to be interesting. I am going to be live twice tomorrow. It's going to be funny. It's going to be comedic. I would show up if you like to laugh. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. His last few shows are going to be really I can't, there's no way I'm going to let go, because the reporters are so funny. They're going to ask him questions they shouldn't. It was a lot of smirking last time. To me, it was worth it. I don't know. After years of doing these, we got to do the fun ones. You know what I mean? If you know what I'm saying. So it was funny. It was funny. So we cherry picked a live trade today. We swiped it. Trader instinct told me to take it. It looked like it was going to keep going, but I took it. Still got faith that this could bounce here and turn into something special on the 5 minute. But we'll see. So I've taken you from the monthly all the way to the 5. There's not much more we can do for Bitcoin right now. And we even live traded with you. So I gave you kind of like the bigger picture all the way to the smaller picture on what's called a top-down analysis. All right. Told you that the NASDAQ would bounce. I see this inverted head and shoulder on the NASDAQ. And I see a falling wedge that's going to break up. I see the NASDAQ eventually doing this. It's going to consolidate. And they're somewhere in June, July, whatever reason. I mean, which is strange, but... And it might consolidate all the... Usually, maybe it consolidates September. And it's, again, September, October, we start to move again. But it looks like it's bottomed, and it's going to have some fun at least and start to bounce back nicely. So it looks pretty interesting on my end. I could be wrong, but that's what I like seeing. Look at the 3 minute bouncing off the 200 moving average. And that's some epic sauce right now. Let's get epic today. That's a legendary buy right now. Can we do it again? Can we make a scalp worth talking about? You got to be ready before it happens or you can't do it. Or at least ready to, you got to be ready to be in action. You get better at this. You demo trade this. Demo trade the 1 minute. Demo trade the 1 minute. You could demo trade. Okay? You go to weeks here. You go up to futures. You go to demo trade. They're going to give you demo trading. What is that? It's basically fake money, but it's the same buttons. It's the same action. The 1 minute isn't going to change. You can see, can you set up a trade on the 1 minute in time? Can you do this stuff in speed? Because your execution, which is basically the actionable sense of how you do it, the speed in which you touch these buttons has a lot to do with your trading ability. I know people don't realize that, but you actually have to be able to make these moves. If you want to trade the small time frames, you have to understand what you're doing. So that's very important. I have this 1 to 3 risk reward ratio already set up for me every time I trade. Extremely important. And you can make 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month. And some days you might only make $200-300. Like, look, yesterday was a multi-$1,000 day. Okay? Today might be a few $100 day. The point is not to give. Some people make $3,000 yesterday and then they lose $2,000 today. If you made $3,000 yesterday and then you make $200 today, I think you're one of the smartest people in the game. Because that means that means you have control over yourself. That means your wins from yesterday aren't making you act erratic. You're still normal, like you're staying flatline. The key is, can you stay flatline no matter what? You win a bunch of money, great. You lose a bunch of money, great. Win a bunch of money, freak out, get all hype up, get so much adrenaline going that you just can't, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's going to happen the first few times you hit big trading. It's going to feel amazing. You're going to talk like no one's better than me. No one can do what I've done. I've done something better than anyone. Look what I did, I turned 100 into $700 once, and I thought I was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean? I did it in like 36 hours sitting there all day. I barely went to the bathroom. It was crazy. Was it worth it? I mean, I learned something. My point is, we get full of ourselves a lot when we start to hit. We want to reset our humbleness. We want to reset our boundaries. And that's important, right? This could be the epic bounce right here off the 200. See that wonderful sound of Pionex when you get into the trade. Look, you can just move your take profit wherever you like in seconds. As I move the stop loss. And it's really simple. You just move, as I'm making it look ridiculous. But you make it big, and then look, you can move your stop loss into position. We should get a bounce off the 200 moving average here. I've seen it many times, especially with low stochastic. And, there's a bit of hidden bull here. Like, this kind of swings up while this whole thing swings flatter down. It says we should break this low before the highs before the lows, but just going for another little mini scalp that really, just kind of testing the waters today. You see, I don't have to make $10,000 on this move. I don't have to risk $3,000 for $10,000. And being disappointed if I lose half the money I made yesterday. There's no reason to do that. Look at this night. Let's see if we get this epic pump though. And let's take a look around the horn here for cryptocurrency. Last 24 hours too, altcoins were moving pretty interesting. We got Zcash back up 18% in 7 days, 14% in 24 hours. Meme Core, 9%. Caspa, which was also moving back up. We had a setup for Caspa. It looked pretty good. It continued to pump. Dexy, which I put out weeks ago going well. I keep saying Aster is a great buy at 71.69. It's at 75, up 7.44%. Even Filecoin jumping on in, stable, near protocol, everything else kind of a little less down on the day, but morally for the week. Hyperliquid back to 40. It was at 20. It's doubled up in the last month and a half, so there has been some price action there. Layer 0, which has been interesting to me, 8%. And so, yeah, altcoins have taken back a little bit. There was a surge in some AI coins, if you notice. Fetch AI up 52%. Tau had a move. SEI up 5%. So, yeah, I mean, we have seen some gains here. Let's see in the last 7 days. River, back to 22. River is like the unstoppable coin. BitTensor 35% and Fetch AI. Like, these are the real big winners. Even Render back at 179. So altcoins, they were down, but they're not too bad. Ethereum from 18 back to 23. Is it time to jump back into ETH if someone sold ETH at a certain area? We will see. We're struggling today. Today tells me it's a day to observe the market. It may be a day just to kind of leave the market alone completely. It looks like I got stopped out. I heard it, right? Oh, not yet. Oh, that was a super chat that sounded like a stop on. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that. You didn't have to give, but you did. New members jumping on in. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there jumping on in with the lifer. We love you. We appreciate you. And we thank you so much for being awesome and amazing and just being a part of the lifer crew. We thank you for being, supportive and always being here no matter what. I know a lot of people might be out today in America, taking some time off from the charts, out with their family, out at a parade, out with friends. St. Patrick's Day is a great time to get together. But please just don't, a lot of people do get drunk, and there tends to be some So already I've seen people in different cities acted a fool, and it's like, that's what the world thinks America is, a bunch of fools who fight and drink all day in the city streets. It's crazy, man. And it's true, man. It's kind of, yeah, it's a bit true. Used to be crazy when I was a kid. Now we just got more cameras, right? So if you're watching, I tried to make a magical move here off of the 200 moving average on the 3-minute. And then dolphin dip, but didn't get me out, fighting the key edge here on the 3-minute time frame. The music left me hanging. Johnny, put it back up, Johnny. Or Valente. I do like Valente. But reminds you of the end of the show, though. A lot of times I end there, so, yeah. And the beginning. You know, I'm still looking for this to kind of flag out here. Come on, Bitcoin. Too many people love you. Price action's hot. You're just going to roll over. Let's look at the, the worst case scenario is that head and shoulder pattern that we're talking about on the 1 hour. So we gave you kind of what, how to trade bearishly and how this thing could end bearishly today, where we would likely go. And we'd end heading somewhere towards the 1 hour 200. Looks in this gap of the VRVP, you can see there's a high volume node there. That would be 72.5. But I mean, you got to clap for Bitcoin, man. Just a couple days ago, we were at 64,000, wondering if we were ever going to make it back. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to put things into real perspective. Even I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, it wasn't that bad just a second ago. Looks like they're going to come get me too. And again, that's why you don't risk a lot. Still not out yet. We still have some supportive resistance that could save the day here. I don't like the fact that we lost a 200 moving average. Not my thing. 1 minute time frame. Also losing the 200. We've got to get back above it extremely fast, or you can see the head and shoulder pattern. Sure. I mean, look at that. I lost the 3 minute, but look, I mean, 1, 2. I mean, that's a head and shoulder. It says you're dumping. So I'm likely going to get stopped out. There's like a 68% chance. So big one gets rejected. Let's take a look. I mean, it doesn't want to play ball here. It doesn't want, no consolidation just yet. Again, that's why I would only buy right there. You see what I mean? Some would say, but Sam, you miss a lot of shorts doing this. And I'd say you're correct. I'm more bullishly biased of a trader. But, my idea is to win. Like, I showed you the P&L. Like, if my P&L, I think that P&L is better than 99% of people's P&L. They say 99% of traders aren't profitable. That's a clearly profitable P&L. And it was heavily volatile. It was through the weekend. It was, you know what I mean? That was from Friday the 13th till now. It was only, that was 3.5 days of my life. And I gave everything to the Discord. I was completely transparent. How I did it, when I did it. Everybody saw it completely. So, I don't know. There's nothing else I could do. I love to do this. I love to live stream. I love to teach it. I like the banter of the live stream. I like to chit chat with each and every one of you. Thinking of that, let's jump on into the chat and see what the chat is saying right now. I want to interact with everybody right now on this beautiful St. Patrick's Day. First thing I see here is Ryan Brink. He says, no TDS here, brother. I don't know what that means. Haven't heard Peter Griffin in too long. What does he think of St. Patty's Day? Hey, Lois, I'm going to go get some beers, eh? It's St. Patty's Day. Hey, me and Chris are going to go. I'm going to give Chris his first Guinness. That's right. I'm going to take Brian, too. Brian likes to put beer in his little cup, and he drinks some cup out of it. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Lois, I think I'm going to grow a beard. I feel like I've lost my Peter, man. Hey, my name's Peter Griffin. That's right. And I live in Quahog. Whenever I watch Crypto Lifer, I just get excited, and I'm getting into crypto. I watch Crypto Lifer. He's the best. There's no one better than Crypto Lifer. He does it better than anybody. So if you're going to watch TV, and if you're going to watch anything, you might as well watch Crypto Lifer on YouTube. He's going to give it to you straight. He's going to teach you. Everyone in Quahog knows who he is, and I love him. This is Peter Griffin, and I approve this message. Senator, I might hold out till the market closed for the next trade. I mean, look at that. They pumped and dumped it there, buddies. We sold the local top. We got it right there. Sold right there. That's crazy what we did, right? It's like I had instinct. It's like I knew what was going to happen, man. You're funny, man. Shout out to Sean Batal. There's a solid bear flag of the gold 1 hour. Maybe they're setting up for Fed rate decision. Sailor permission. The sailor impression.
So the idea is you buy Bitcoin. The only thing about Bitcoin is you gotta buy Bitcoin, you know? So countries and people that think that Bitcoin isn't the answer, they just don't understand Bitcoin. So you buy the Bitcoin, you hold the Bitcoin, you don't sell the Bitcoin. That's it. There's nothing else. You buy the Bitcoin. No, hold on, wait.
Sailor, like, we got black on.
You buy the Bitcoin, okay? That's what you do, you know? Companies out here, they're looking at annual returns, they're looking at the best capital. This is the pristine capital. There's no but a better piece of pristine capital. You want to make your balance sheet bigger? Bitcoin. You want to serve your corporate clients better? Bitcoin. You want to serve the board better? Bitcoin. You want to serve your clientele, people that buy your products? Bitcoin. There's no better situation. There's no better there's no product that's going to take you higher. Bitcoin. Pristine capital. That's it. I don't understand.
That's my Michael Saylor for you there.
Bitcoin. You got to buy Bitcoin. That's it.
Well, now we got to get back into Pinky Blinders Irish Day. Man, I got my whole thing. I wait all year just to wear this. Ooh, I wait all year just to wear this. Wife is asking for the beef tallow brand you use and the immune booster shots. Thank you. Well, I want to come up with my own brand of immune boosting shots soon. That's the first thing I'm going to be doing. Secondly, this falling wedge could still break out here, folks. Did they get me yet? They did get me. Arrgh. It's all good. That's what happens. So up 125. Not amazing, right? But hey, we're still in the long on this monthly. 3-day chart could still bounce. We'll see. That's a falling wedge that should be able to kind of take us up. I do see how it's the right shoulder now. Let's kind of get into a bigger chart. I want to see something for Bitcoin. Make sure I'm not drinking my own Kool-Aid. Let's flip the chart upside down and act like bulls. All right. So say we were super bullish and we wanted to see this thing continue to pump. And you'd say, well, how come it didn't? I mean, it looked him, right? It rolled over. And honestly, that looks like it's going to continue to dump. So like what it looks like, though, it might make like a flag here, right? Might come back and retest. Like a bearish retest of some areas. It'd be cool if it could stay above this area, bear flag it out. But like, I know, it does look pretty bearish to me. It's below the 200, the 21's touching. I'd say it consolidates a little bit here and then it rolls over, right? That's so annoying. I'm fat fingering in it today. That would set it down to 83,250 for Bitcoin, right? Key area that we're looking for. So I just, very tight inside the zone here too.
You buy Bitcoin. That's it. You get Bitcoin in the balance sheet. There's nothing better. You can buy the Bitcoin.
You can hear it. You can hear him in there. So, there's resistance here. Right, now you flip this back upside down and you kind of see. So to me, it does look like we're going to continue. But we just may have to flag out. An uptrending flag would be even more beautiful. So hey, when I flip it upside down, I mean, it kind of looks, it looks bearish, which means it's bullish. $85,000 BTC on the way. So to me, I just see consolidation today on the 4-hour time frame. I'm not stressing the smaller time frames. I'm not going to be digging for diamonds there. We saw some. It's funny as you just traded it today. I know. 1 minute could get back above the 200 and give me the exact same. We might see this again. The 21. I'm telling you how interesting it is. But hey, there was a shoulder head. There was a shoulder head, right shoulder. You did dump. Very well may continue. I see consolidation. I see like a fake out of this falling wedge. You got back inside, you got to break back up again. That's what it looks like to me, and I could be terribly wrong, but it doesn't look amazing. It just looks like it's battling price action here. And remember, like, and I even said to my trading group, okay, you know, it's Fed day. FOMC policy uncertainty. Right now, markets are balancing three major forces. FOMC policy uncertainty, persistent inflation pressures, geopolitical tensions pushing energy prices higher. Because of this, most risk assets, including crypto, are consolidating ahead of tomorrow's Fed decision, right? The market sweeps liquidity before the real move, breaks out frequently, fail before the announcement, right? Breakouts and frequently fail. And the clearest trades usually appear after a macro event. So, like, I usually wait till after Fed day. Sometimes I trade it live just to see, you know what I mean? He might say a keyword and then we're above the 200, but for the most part, you know. And then you see indecision candle here on the 1 hour time frame, but it is making that. We did say shoulder, shoulder, head, possible right shoulder there. We were keen on this idea, and you can see how I'm like, you know, and what a difference today. But, you know, yesterday we're all live, all long, all, you know, full blown. We could see it. We were in the flag. We're on the other side of the move now. So, yeah, I like the 4 hour and waiting for consolidation. And it's interesting here when we look at this too. You could see, could the 15-minute be making a head and shoulder pattern there? Or is it going to be bullishly retesting this trend line? To be honest, it looks a little more bearish than bullish today. If you ask me, cold front came into Florida, man. I can't believe it. It was just, you know, it was crazy. But today is 52 degrees here in Florida. I don't know what's going on. Tomorrow we'll be back to 70, 74, 75. By Saturday, it'll be 76 degrees. And by Sunday, it will be 80 again. But bang. I mean, look at this. I mean, it went down to 49 degrees last night. Today is 60 with 46 degrees. But right now, look, current weather is 52 degrees. It's freezing cold outside. For us, that's freezing cold. But funny, I'm a Floridian now. That is freezing cold. We're like, what? Like, it's almost always above 75 for us. Or above 70, you know. Very rarely we have to deal with weather below 70 degrees. I mean, I am in a cooler part of Florida. I'm a little north compared to, like, the Keys, but you'd be looking for that to bounce on out if there was any type of action here. Kind of a shoulder, head, right shoulder, if you ask me. Still looking for that tweezer bottom on the 15-minute and the bounce back to the upside. They faked it pretty good and brought it back in, you know. I love this chair, man. I was telling you guys, it massages me. So awesome. I contacted the company, said I would like to get an affiliate link because people might ask me, hey, what's the chair I'd like to buy? And I can say, hey, this is the chair, but they've been slow to get back to me. You could put heat on. My lower back really is some pain recently from all the, you know, moving around and everything I've been doing. So nice to have my lower back supported and to have heat and massaging going on. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Okay. So we're kind of flat right now for Bitcoin. There's your tweezer bottom on the 3 minute. Possible bounce there. That is. And it's a 786 retracement. I mean, that's the money printer right there. Very high risk, but possibility. There's a pump there with a stop below the 618. I wouldn't take it right now. I think it's treachery, but anything is possible. I love high risk trades though. I don't know, man. I love taking the angle, you know. 15-minute 200 moving average could be like a no, like you can't get back up. They're not going to break it. I don't know. It looks head and shoulder-y to me. So what am I doing right now? What's going on? Well, if you're watching my channel, I'm a guy that's been trading since I was 23. I'll be 43 in a couple weeks, right? So I have a lot of time. And I've seen a lot of markets and I've seen many different things and I've traded I've traded things for 2 to 3 years and invested in them. I've swung trade the 4-hour time frame for a week or two at a time. I've done a couple month trades. I've done an 18-month trade. I've traded the 1 minute, the 1 second. I've basically traded almost every time frame, you know, and I've been in many different trades for many different assets around the world, right? And from all that years of experience, I can kind of get a sense of when I believe there's a higher probability and in a lower risk place to trade. I do tend to trade bullishly more than bearish. Like if you watch me, I'm going to trade probably 80% or probably even maybe 90% long and 10% short. If the market switches heavily short, you'll see me probably shorting a little more than longing because I just changed the trend when the trend changes, and you'll be able to see this. You've learned a lot with me if you watch my channel because you'll see me change my trading style based on what's happening in the market, right? So today is a day like I'm not really live trading. I'm not doing as much. Why? Like, well, could I have called this short back down? I mean, we did close a long back. We did go to the 21. Yeah, possibly. I've been less likely to pull a short, specifically too. I've made gains that week. Throughout the week, I may trade less. Like we already made a lot of gains Sunday and Monday. So today I'm not like, now what if I didn't trade at all? I just got back from a trip today. I might be hungry to look for $1,000 win today. Or, you know, just to get back to my old ways. But like once I've kind of checked it off and I've hit nice, then I'm kind of relaxed and ready for the next perfect entry, or what I believe is the lowest risk possibility. Still looking for this to be kind of shoulder, head, right shoulder rest. Still looking for this to bounce back. Bit of a cup and handle. I like that we're above the 200 moving average still on the 15. If the 15-minute loses the 200, that's when we would start to look for more shorts, in my humble opinion. Right now, the shorts may get caught off guard here. And it kind of still coincides with my idea that the 4 hours just going to it's going to find some type of consolidation here. The 21's going to come, and then we're going to be able to get some awesome price action. And we're also right above previous resistance right here, as you can see. So I want to make this really clear and obvious. We want to make sure this doesn't, if this loses, you're going to 72.2. You can see it. Like if you lose this level, you're going to like probably drop down to 72.2. If you hold the level, then you're going to create a beautiful consolidation. That's going to open us up for a great trade. I said the same thing like right around here. Or right around here. Or when Bitcoin finally pumped here. You know, I said we got to wait for consolidation. Like the 4 hour. Remember, I was one of the first people to start showing you the flag. You know, we saw it here. We first traded something there. Then we traded, you know, we just kept trading it. Then we kept tweaking it. If you keep tweaking it, there's an entry. There's an entry. There's entries when you keep tweaking. If you give up and say whatevs, then, you know. That's why the person that keeps pushing, that keeps seeing, keeps fine-tuning is the person that's going to win. All right? It just is what it is. It's interesting, even though it's an interesting day. I like this. I personally like this play here. $75,950. Stop loss at 73,339. Again, don't do what you see people do on YouTube. Have your own idea, own strategy. Get an education with me. Learn what I'm doing. And on this account, I'm going to risk like a little bit of what we already made there, right? 160 of the 220. I did already lose the 100 there on the other one. Not denying that. Keeping it light again. Just want to make another $500 today. Maybe even 300 to 500. Looks like the head and shoulder is into me. I see this wick, but I'm over it. I see an inverted head and shoulder. I see a cup and handle. I see the 200 moving average holding us down. I see a pump back to the top of the channel. I'm long on Bitcoin right now. Okay. I could be terribly wrong. I could get stopped out in 2 seconds. There's no guarantees. I'm going to continue to the upside. None at all. All right. So here we go. I see the move starting right now back to the upside. Let's see if we can get a, 25. Something told me that was like the perfect place to get in, but we'll see. No guarantees. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Where are my peoples at? Sam the man, thank you. Let's take a look at the fan funding and see what came in today. Marcus sent 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. You didn't have to do that, but you did. $50 from Omar. God bless you, man. That's so nice. Ripple Foundations. Welcome. Thank you. Is that real? Is that real? Like, I think this is a fake website thing, but I mean, yeah, they got one video. That's kind of weird. Everyone, be careful of that. I think that's a fake. I don't know. Just be careful. I don't know what's going on there. Thank you for the gay nights. God bless you, man. Wife is asking for the beef tallow brand. Farm Girls. Farm Girls. 3 Farm Girls, it's called. Starting small, made 10 on that long. God bless. Hey, bro. One step at a time, man. 10 more than you've ever had in your life off something you've never done, right? So pat yourself in the back for what I want people to understand is don't worry about this. Don't trust the money you're making. Go with the idea that you're doing something you've never done before. All right? You're doing something new with your life that you've never done. That's the key. Like, hey, I never did this before, and I did it. I'm doing it now, right? Follow me at CryptoLifer33 on X. I'm posting all the time, going behind the scenes, showing you. Look, that was in the middle of the night. I mean, what a candle we had last night. Unbelievable. So things went our way, man. Yet again, the lifers, bro. The lifers. 74,000. See, we're knocking on that door again. I see us coming back up and consolidating on that 4-hour time frame, getting tight. And I see a bigger trade coming our way later on tonight. Maybe even like as the Fed comes on, it pumps. I don't know. But I'm going to stick to the charts and not stress. I do know we got Fed Day coming. Let's take a look if there's anything else coming our way tomorrow. We got core PPI at 8:30 in the morning too. So we get hit with core PPI immediately, right when we start. Then we had the Fed funds rate. Right? And then what do we have on Thursday? Unemployment claims come on Thursday at 8:30. And then core retail sales. So every single day on, we're going to be getting economic data at 8:30 that's definitely going to affect the market. Ooh, nasty little move there. Things were going well. What happened there? Bitcoin? We're not risking too much in this trade. We'll see where it goes. I'll keep you guys updated as what happens. If you don't trade at all today and it's likely to go up, down. It's likely to go sideways as we wait for Fed Day. Remember that. Today's a great day to kind of get yourself positioned. Maybe if you're looking at alts to do research, to look at your capital and reallocate, maybe to get some funds off exchanges if you have too much. You know, today's a day to clean house, get yourself ready, get set up, and get ready, right? As the spring is coming soon, folks. Right, the 21st of March is right, if I'm correct, that's the spring equinox. So spring is beginning. Just 4 days from now. Shout out to anyone up in Boston there. Like, I used to go through those tough winters. You know, you shouldn't snow. And I guess we had April Fool's Day snow, and there was some days in March, but you should be slow, you know. You never know, though. Boston tends to get snow, but I don't want to jinx you guys. But it should be tapering off. If anything, you should have at least just only a few more snow days, if that. But maybe you're done, you know. On mild winters, we'd had mild winters, but that winter, you guys didn't get a mild winter. I got a mild winter the last few winters I was there. I didn't have to shovel one winter at all. It was strange. Every time it snowed, it rained the next day. It never compiled. Then there was a winter I was there. It just never stopped snowing. It was everywhere. So it comes in waves for whatever reason. All right. Any new coins that you want to have on your radar? Let's take a look for you. Or what's trending? What are people getting into? Camp. IDOS. Bondex. Might be a new DEX you want to look into. BDXN. SWI. Zama. Grass. And Obel Technologies. Interesting. All right. Might want to write them down. Nothing big. Nothing huge. Just, you know, very small market cap. Very new coins. Look at market cap. 5 million. 5 million. That one says billion. That's SWI, right? But people are looking at SWI. People are looking at Poji Penguins. People are looking at Pepe. Pengu may have a comeback. I mean, if any coin comes back, Pengu. You just start asking yourself if Bitcoin really starts to make a staple here. And people believe there's even some type of alt season. They'll at least move for a little bit. And then we can go from there, right? So. I'm not in love with what I'm looking at right now. It's crazy. Like, it could just be a bear flag, right? Like, there's no, I mean, right now, I would just assume that's going to continue to dump. See, the key is those 200 moving averages. The 4 hour, let the 4 hour be my god here, you know? So it's just like, look, it's doing the same thing Bitcoin's doing right now. It needs to consolidate. If Bitcoin can consolidate, so will PENG. So, like, I watch Bitcoin closely, and then I just, like, once Bitcoin, like, then I'm like, okay, activate altcoins. And I really just, you know, sad to say, I really don't trade altcoins on leverage, everybody. I'm not. I will give you setups, though, that you can, if you desire. Like, I'll give you setups for altcoins like you wouldn't believe. All right? We gave Dexy there was like nothing in the market, and I gave Dexy. And I said, Dexy looks good to me. Like, it looks like it's going to continue, and it pumped. And now look at Dexy. Let's be realistic about it. I mean, it's the hottest thing right now. And so it's starting to form, you know, a bit of a rising wedge here on the 4 hour time frame. If anything continues to pump, Dexy looks good to me. And so, like, I'm giving you a free idea here, a setup that you may not have thought about. And I'll do this a lot on this channel. Once we start to get back into the good graces and the market comes back, I'm going to be the altcoin guy again. Trust me. You know, I became Mr. Bitcoin. But I trade whatever works. I've been making gains this week with Bitcoin. I'll make gains with something else next week. Like, I teach that's another thing I teach you in the group, that it's not really, we never know when we have to kind of make a move. But we know that we always have to. You know, we never know when we have to do it, but we know we always do. Like, a move will have to be made. Meaning sometimes altcoins, like we moved away from altcoins, we start trading more Bitcoin. You know, we did that. You know, why go down with the ship when there's opportunity? Not going to force it, right? Dexy has been holding its own, still looks good, and is setting up for a parabolic move up to 730, 756. I like what I'm seeing for Dexy here. It looks good to me. All right, everyone, that's going to be it for the show today. Bitcoin looks like it is lagging. Not amazing. The trade we're in right now, though, still kind of hugging it. It's only down $14, so, and it's not over just yet. I'll stay tuned with each and every one of you throughout the trading group. Go to cryptolifer.com to find out more, okay? If you want to go to Bitcoin Las Vegas, hit the link to Bitcoin Vegas in my description. It's amazing. It's one of the best times I've ever had. You'll get a 10% discount with my link. The price does go up every couple of days, so get in now while you still can. You will regret it when you see the videos, see the pictures, hear about the event. In fact, man, I didn't go to Bitcoin Vegas. Of all the trips you've ever taken, it's definitely worth it. It's in and out. You can be there for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days at the most. You don't have to spend your whole time there. It's really, really nice. Let me just show you really quick because we make it very simple. But the link to Bitcoin Vegas, man, and it's April 27th through the 29th at the Venetian, in case you didn't know. All right? Jump on it today. You're going to meet so many people. You're going to have a blast. You'll see Michael Saylor. You probably shake his hand, take a picture with him.
And he'll do Bitcoin. You gotta buy Bitcoin. It's only Bitcoin. Everything is Bitcoin. I told you that Bitcoin is the number one. You know? Your wife gets mad, buy Bitcoin. Your wife's happy, buy Bitcoin. Okay? It doesn't matter. Your kids yell at you, Bitcoin. You yell at your kids, Bitcoin.
Shout out to everybody. Thank you for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. You know, stay blessed. Stay amazing. Stay green, baby. The secret to success is getting started. Ishkabaha, you know, but slancha. Cheers. I'll see you all tomorrow. God bless you. Thank you so much. Crypto Lifer.